Hello everyone, my name is Onpour Jason Chow, and this presentation is for Group 5's project report on our findings from the Paris Airbnb dataset. For our data visualization info 215 class, we decided to look at the importance of trust-related issues that Airbnb reported as a key factor to their success. Once we started looking at the data, we found ourselves drawn to some interesting results between hosts in France and hosts listed outside of France. The difference developed into a story about why there appeared to be a review rating score preference for hosts not in France. Were the differences we discovered because of differences in features or neighborhoods, or could it be something else? We wanted to see if this may potentially be an issue with the hosts' paradigm differences. Is it possible that hosts that treat their residents as an investment would treat their listings more professionally and therefore have happier customers? We use the review score accuracy, which is the client's score for hosts' accuracy from their listings, as a key measure of our results. Before we look into the resulting charts, let's look at the data we used and where it was retrieved. The data sets primarily used in this assignment are from the Paris Airbnb dataset. Dataset 1 was from the listings.csv file that contained detailed information. Dataset 2 was the listings.csv.gz file that contained detailed data. The information was scraped on February 5th, 2019, and we retrieved the data on March 24th, 2019. We also based on the hosting records from the file. The time frame of the data was determined to be August 22nd, 2008 to February 5th, 2019.
My name is Yushe Jiang, and I will go into the data visualization part. For figure 1, we made a comparison of review score accuracy and review score ratings by host location. We maintained the graphical integrity by using an easily scalable measurements for comparison. We achieved this by sizing the graphs in a relatively simple scale of 1 to 10 to stress the proportionality of the figures. We used a two-tone color palette to show the difference in quantile and used the color from the Airbnb logo. Also, this side-by-side comparison helped to reduce the distortion effect on the results. From this visualization, we discovered that from these results that hosts not in France appear to have a higher rate and appear to be slightly more accurate. There would appear to be a less biased reporting of features from hosts not in France. We found that both median score for review score accuracy and the review score rating are relatively high, but the differences shown in the minimum and the 25th quantile for hosts not in France in the review score rating lead to additional exploration. And then we take a closer look at how the host location influences the distribution of review score rating and the median prices across all neighborhoods. For figure 2, we maximize the data ratio by looking deeper into the review score ratings, while also comparing median score group by neighborhoods and also the host location indicator. The theme of the Airbnb colors and the different bar types were also used to separate the metrics so that the overlapping values would be easily visible. As seen in figure 1, the distribution of the review score ratings are consistently higher for hosts not in France in each of the different neighborhoods. We noticed from the chart that the effect of the median price indicate that the hosts not in France typically have a higher median rates. Among the 20 neighborhoods, 16 of them with hosts not in France has a higher median prices than those not in France, and they also have a higher rating score distribution. This chart indicates that the neighborhoods are influencing the review score distribution.
This is Haiqing. This slide, we analyze the average number of reviews and the median price. We stick to use the Airbnb color. The orange bar represents the host in France, and the reddish bar is the host not in France. We also use the chart-junk data-in ratio and data density in design. For a clear visualization, we used only the one grid to divide the median price and the average number of reviews and stack them in one figure, which can give us audience a very good comparison, with one single visualization. We discovered an interesting trend that hosts not in France have less average number of reviews, but with a higher median price. So we dig further and break down the comparison by neighborhood. To make better visualization, we use different shapes in this figure. The dots are average number of reviews and the red bars represent the median price, which are combined for easy comparison. Also, to prevent scale distortion, we started from zero starting point. We do find that neighborhood has an impact on average review volume and median price. The trend found in previous slide evidence in the breakdown comparison again. That is, the host not in France has less average number of reviews and higher median price.
This is Meng Guoyan. Furtherly, we broke down host location information with room types. Different percentages on property count were given in this figure. Red was used to mark hosts in France and yellow as hosts out of France. It intends to give us information about whether there's various room type preference between hosts in France and out of France. Obviously, from the figure above, we cannot see difference between these two groups. This information is important to us because it can help us to eliminate one of the factors in further investigation into Airbnb trust. Principles we follow to design the figure are as followed. First of all, we'll avoid chart junk by removing a horizontal line, but keep the vertical ones for better comparative purpose. And secondly, we improve the data inc by including the labels only when necessary. Data density was also considered by stacking host location vertically. Overall, this figure is easily read and understood by the audience.
Dallas Chambers here. To summarize our findings, we established a relationship between hosts not residing in France and an increase in review score accuracy, overall review score rating, and median price, as well as a decrease in average number of reviews. We sought to understand trust in Airbnb as well as our hosts by exploring review score accuracy. As stated above, hosts not residing in France tended to have a higher review score accuracy. We believe it is important to understand this relationship as it is considered an important part of Airbnb's business model. It may be that hosts not residing in France have less bias in their description of the property as well as the neighborhood because they aren't as emotionally attached, in doing so treating the property more like a business investment. We also found that hosts not residing in France tended to have a higher median price for postings. Since clients are willing to pay a higher price and also give them higher ratings, it appears they are happy to pay more. For recommendations, we think Airbnb should further investigate our findings to better understand the differences between hosts. This will be important to promote trust with existing hosts and may also help in the design of future host recruitment campaigns. Also, hosts outside of France tend to be able to demand a higher price for their property as well as receive higher reviews, so it would be quite helpful to the future of Airbnb to better understand this relationship. We believe these findings are important to better understand because they resulted in happy customers willing to pay more. Our primary challenge was conducting the analysis and tying several visualizations together to tell a story. This is something we failed to do in our first draft submission. We spent more time discussing various analyses performed as well as many visuals to piece together a coherent set of results and recommendations. We're quite happy with how everything came together this time. Thank you for your time.